Робополис БГ. Добре дошли в света на роботите за дома и офиса, градината и басейна. Богат избор на роботи за почистване на прозорци, самообслужващи се прахосмокачки роботи с моп, роботи-косачки и роботи за басейни. Всички модели са налични. Робополис БГ. Доверете се на опита.
Hello, Mr. Ципис, my friend. How are you? Where are you?
Hello, dear Martin. I'm okay, thank you. Nice to see you. I'm in Israel now.
Okay, the questions here. You know, Trump promised the end of the war in Ukraine, but the war does not end. Why? What will happen?
Let's begin from saying that Trump is using unusual means of conduct, means of diplomacy, which previously were not used by the United States presidents before him. He uses, and I must say, he is a master of these new, unprecedented tools of diplomacy. He is using microeconomic and political economic means of diplomacy because he does not use the military rhetoric. He doesn't threat neither to Russia or to Ukraine that he will use his military to solve this conflict. What he does use is actually microeconomic leverage against Vladimir Putin and against Vladimir Zelensky. From the Russian perspective, Trump is actually using the sanctions against Russian oligarchs, which are, most of them are with the close circle with Vladimir Putin, and he froze their bank accounts. He froze most of their real estate and other property, and they in Russia pressing Vladimir Putin to come to terms with Trump, which is a very, very, very wise diplomacy. And from the Ukrainian perspective, also almost the same. Because of the large-scale corruption in Ukraine for the last 10 years of this war, a lot of funds actually were stolen by the Ukrainian governmental bureaucrats. They actually moved it out of Ukraine and put it in foreign bank accounts. And Donald Trump knows about it. He knows each and every one of these accounts, and he froze them also. So now he has also the leverage on the Ukrainian side to come to terms and to come to table of negotiations. And in my opinion, it works much more efficient than threatening with some military steps or sending weapons to Ukraine or threatening Russia with some war threats. The microeconomic and business tools work much better in current situation than his previous presidents, which did not know or did not understand or couldn't use it because they are not a businessman like Donald Trump. Neither Barack Obama nor Joe Biden couldn't even think about using these elements of diplomacy by actually using more wisely the sanctions against both parties of both sides of the conflict, Ukrainian side and the Russian side.
But what will happen? There is no peace.
In my opinion, yes. In my opinion, it will be successful. In my opinion, look, Vladimir Putin already came to terms and he announced a 30-hour ceasefire the holidays. So this was one step forward from Russian president towards Donald Trump's terms and conditions, and this makes sense. And in my opinion, in near future, maybe in near months, I think we will see some kind of beginning of negotiations, of course, by using intermediators. But negotiations will definitely will be held between Russia and Ukraine.
Because today Putin says we want to speak with Ukrainians.
Yes, we also must understand that Vladimir Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, he is not an autonomic and he is not an independent figure. We have a major power behind him, and this major power is from London. So he does basically what instructions he receives from London, not from Kiev. He is absolutely dependent on London. So, in my opinion, those people in London, they are not interested at this point of time to solve this war, to solve this conflict. So, this is why President Zelensky says that he is unwilling to go to direct talks with Vladimir Putin. This is because he is absolutely dependent on opinions from London, and he does what they tell him to do. And they don't want Donald Trump to solve this conflict because they have also their representatives of London is the Democratic Party in the United States, the main rival of Republicans who are represented by Donald Trump. Yeah. If you understand the whole scheme.
Is it possible the next war, Europe plus Ukraine against Russia, without help from the United States?
In case Donald Trump does not succeed in his efforts to solve this problem, unfortunately, yes. We are speaking about both sides as we speak now, actually preparing for the next war. And next war will be, if it will be, I hope it won't, but it will be between Russia and NATO. And this gradually can escalate to war between West and the East. And we have in the West, we have the NATO bloc. In the East, we have BRICS, but BRICS is not a military bloc, not yet, but it's only a political and economic bloc. But I think, in my opinion, in Washington, in London, and in Russia, they are planning Plan B. In case Donald Trump does not succeed or fails during these 4 years, because he has left no more than 2.5 years, because in 3 years they have elections, primaries. So this is the beginning of the next elections in 2.5 years from now. This time is nothing for geopolitical efforts. So in case Donald Trump fails, probably we will face a new phase of this conflict in much higher levels. And we also know that some of the European countries are ready to send their military, France, Germany, even Sweden, even Finland and British, they are ready to assist boots on the ground to the Ukrainian side. They are just waiting to see if the efforts of Donald Trump succeeds or fails.
If it happens, what will be the answer from the Russians?
Unfortunately for Moscow, Russia doesn't have any resources left. Let's not forget that Russia already lost a lot of resources during the previous conflicts. And I'm not talking about the Chechnya 2 wars. I'm talking about the war with Georgia. I'm talking about Russia, which has to keep the situation under control on the Far East, on the Baltics, and on the Ukrainian direction. So, in my opinion, Russia might exhaust all its resources in case of a major war.
Or maybe Russia can use a specific weapon.
This is one option, to use unconventional weapons. The second option, which Russia already is trying to use, is to use the armies of its allies. The Chinese and the North Koreans actually sent some troops to fight in Ukrainian theater. It wasn't very successful. The Korean troops did not gain any major success in Ukraine, and the Chinese also did not show or did not demonstrate some specific or some special knowledge or special success on this specific theater. Maybe they are good soldiers and good troops and good military for the Far Eastern theater, but not for the European theater. So we see a failure of using foreign military from other continents. So it is very dependent from which continent, because each military in the whole world is specifically focused on its own continent. The African troops cannot fight in Ukraine. The Ukrainians cannot fight in Central America. So it's very important to understand. So we have two options for Russia: unconventional weapon or usage of other armies, which until now at this point we see that they are not very successful.